Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Amanullah. You're watching my YouTube channel, Dr. Aman's video. Dear viewer, today we will discuss immune system. In this video lecture, first we will define immune system, and then we will divide immune system into three line of defense. First line of defense, second line of defense, and third line of defense. So immune system is a defense system in a body through which body protect itself from the foreign invader like bacteria, virus, fungi, allergen, or from the tumor growth which arise from inside the body. So for the purpose of understanding, the immune system will be divided into three line of defense. First line of defense, second line of defense, and then third line of defense. Starting with the first line of defense of the immune system. In this first line of immune system is composed of physical and chemical barrier. The physical barriers include skin and mucous membrane. Skin cover the external covering of the body, while mucus cover the internal surfaces of the body like gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract, eyes, ear, and urogenital tract. So these two skin and mucous membranes are the mechanical barrier which prevent the entrance of foreign invader microorganisms inside the body. Now the chemical barrier which are present on the skin and mucous membrane in order to prevent the entry of the microorganism inside the body include sweat secreted by the skin and saliva, tear, and mucus which is secreted by the different anatomical sites by mucous membrane. Sweats, saliva, tear, and mucus, these chemical barrier actually contain lysozymes, which is the antimicrobial substances, and it try to kill or destroy the taking microorganisms on the human body. There are some other physical barriers like hairs, the presence of the hair in the nasal canals. These hairs actually trap the foreign invading microorganisms and does not allow the microorganisms to enter into the body. In addition to hair, there is a wax which is produces in the air. So these wax also try to trap the foreign invading organisms and does not allow the microorganisms to proceed further. This mucus also perform a function of the trapping of the microorganisms. In physical barriers, the cilia present in the upper respiratory tract also trap the microorganism and expelled it out from the body towards outsides. There are certain other chemical barriers which are also the part of the first line of the defense, like acidic fluids, for example gastric fluid present in the stomach, urine, and vaginal secretion. These fluids are acidic. These fluids have acidic pH. So due to acidic pH, they do not allow the growth of microorganisms or the entrance of microorganisms. So these all chemical, physical, and chemical barriers are the first line of defense through which body protect itself against the entrance of microorganisms. Or in simple word, you can say that these physical and chemical barrier prevent the entry of microorganisms inside the human host. So whenever microorganism or foreign invader succeeded to cross this first line of defense, so the second line of defense initiated in order to prevent the further progress of that invading organisms which has been crossed the first line of the defense. So the first line or the second line of the defense is consists of the non-specific immune response. Non-specific immune response is the response which is generated by the immune system, but it does not differentiate among the foreign invader, and it attack every foreign invader in a similar mechanism. Therefore, it is not specific. Second line of the defense is composed of immune cells, particularly neutrophil and macrophages. In addition to immune cell, second line of the defense include protein. The most important is complement. Complement is a cascade of protein. We know about these things. So in the second line of defense, when microorganisms cross the first line, so the neutrophil and the macrophages try to engulf that foreign invader and try to phagocytose it in order to kill the foreign invading microorganism. So these two immune cells perform the function of phagocytosis for the elimination or killing of the microorganisms. While protein or component is activated due to the presence of foreign invader, so after activation, these complement try to kill the foreign invader or microorganisms. In addition to killing of microorganisms, these complement also recruit other immune cell to the site of infection in order to increase or strengthen the attack of the immune system on the foreign invader. Finally, these complement also initiate an inflammatory response against the foreign invader in order to curb the attack of the foreign invader at this stage. So at the second stage, when immune system realize that we are not able to kill the foreign invader by using these tool of microorganisms, then what they do, they also initiate the third line of defense in order to eliminate or to kill the foreign invader. But the third line of defense is very, very specific in nature. Therefore, the third line of the defense consists of the adaptive or acquired immune response. This adopted or acquired immune response is very specific in nature. It means that it produced specific immune tools against the foreign invader. Like for example, if COVID-19 has been attacked the body, so at this stage, the body produced specific molecule against COVID-19, which only and only attack on the COVID-19 virus and will not attack on any other foreign invader. So therefore, this line of defense is very, very specific in nature, and it is acquired or adapted in nature. It means that before the exposure of foreign invader, these things is not present. Like neutrophil, macrophages, they are present all the time and ready to attack on the foreign invader. But the third line of the defense only get activated after the encounter of the specific antigen. So the third line of the defense is composed of the or consists of the lymphocytes. We know that there are two types of lymphocyte, T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte. So these T and B lymphocytes perform the third line of the defense. What actually occur in the third line of the defense, that the T lymphocytes, we know that further T lymphocyte has two subpopulation, one T helper cell and the other is T cytotoxic cells, which is also called CD4 positive cell and CD8 positive cell because of their antigens. So what happened in the second line of the defense, when macrophages realize that we are alone not able to kill the foreign invader, so what they do after phagocytosis, they present the antigen on their surface. Like for example, this is a macrophage, so they present antigen on their surface with association of class 2 MHC protein. So in the third line of the defense, this T helper cell recognize this antigen present on the surface of the macrophages through T cell receptor. This T cell receptor recognizes the foreign antigen present on the surface of the macrophages. So after recognition, this T helper cells get activated and produced cytokine or interleukin. These cytokine and interleukin activate the T cytotoxic cells or CD8 positive cell and also B lymphocyte. So when it activates the T cytotoxic cells and the B lymphocytes, so the B lymphocyte is differentiated into plasma cell, and the plasma cell produced antibodies, and these antibodies are very specific to this antigen which has been recognized by T cell receptor. And these activated cytotoxic T cells actually kill the infected cells which are infected by these organisms, and damaged cells which has been damaged due to this infection, and they also try to kill the tumor cell if originated inside the body. Now, what is the function of antibody, or what antibody do in our third line of defense? So antibody attached to the specific antigen which has been elicit the production of this antibody. So this antibody attached to that specific antigen and form antigen antibody complex which is known as immune complex. So the formation of immune complex or antigen antibody complex prevent this antigen from attaching to the target cell. In this way, they prevent the attack of the foreign invader. Secondly, this antigen antibody complex also activate the complement, which is a protein we have already discussed in this second line of defense. So they are further activated through third line of the defense. In addition to this, antibody also opsonize antigen. Opsonization means that they attached with the antigen and they drag the antigen to the phagocytic cell in order to facilitate the phagocytosis by the phagocytic cells like macrophages. So it was all about the story of the immune system, that how our immune system work in its first line of defense, second line of defense, and third line of the defense. I hope you would find this video informative and beneficial for you. So if it is the case, then of course we would like to request you that please like my video, share the video, and subscribe my YouTube channel, and also hit the bell icon in order to get the notification for our upcoming video. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Fi amanillah.